let's get to it. So should there be a statute of limitation on assault, the R word, rape? Should there be a statute of limitation on that? Shoot at it, guys. I'll give y'all my opinion on it last.
It's a bit tough.
Yeah, that's touchy.
It's a bit tough. I think it's situational for sure because who's to say that when you experience that you're in a space to be able to expose it to whomever you don't feel comfortable to or whomever you do feel comfortable to. And then later on down the line, say for instance, you don't feel comfortable talking about that when it happens, and then you get to a space where your trauma is not as heavy or not or able for you to be able to deal with it, then you'll be able to say something. I don't think that it takes away the situation. So you should still be able to do something about it. That's pretty much my take. But I still do think it's still kind of situational.
Okay. What you say, Lola? That's what I should have done. I should have asked the ladies' opinion first, since that assault is more, antiquated to you guys.
Um, I think it's very touchy because, like she said, in the moment you might not be able to express what happened. And then maybe later on you get to a place where you can do that. However, I do feel like, you know, these a lot of times it be like, okay, this happened 60 years ago. So the person that it happened with, like they already 1 foot in the grave already, like, okay, they gonna go there for 3 years until they die. Is that really justice?
Right.
Understood. Fellas, OG, we ain't heard your voice on the pod in about 16 years. Like you did a bit or something. What's your opinion on this, man? Do you think
brother, I mean, they let me out, maybe I was locked up. Who knows?
No, they won't let me out.
Yo, hey, look, man, this is a very sensitive subject, sensitive topic, and quite honestly, I mean, who's to say what the time frame is to report something like this? I mean, a sister here said, Nikki, Big Nikki, correct myself, said here, as she said, and artfully, so, eloquently that, you may not be in that frame of mind to be able to, say what happened at that time. It may take you years, and you've seen on the Me Too, the ones that are actually legit, the Me Too, where it's been 10 years before they reported, 16 years before they reported, because the person that commit the alleged act was so powerful that they didn't feel like they could come out and kind of state what it was. Otherwise, if they were in the movie business or something else, they'd be kind of pushed out of the business, so to speak. Put on a list. Kind of persona non grata, where no one's going to give them a job or give them a good movie, or give them a TV show, or whatever the case may be, or just working in corporate America, whatever it is, no promotion, whatever. Any of those things could have came to mind when these whether it be women or men that this happened to, that they just couldn't come out with it at the time, because it just wasn't going to happen for them, because of the power difference that the person that committed the alleged act has over them. So statute of limitation, I don't necessarily think there should be one. I agree with Lola. Yeah, 1 foot in the grave. Is that really justice? But who's to say what justice is to that person that experienced that, right? So I think it should be up to the person that experienced it. It shouldn't even be up to the law to say, well, 5 years is the limit, or whatever. We shouldn't put a limit on that. The person that experienced it should be able to voice that when they feel like they could voice that. So, what they want, what do they want monetary, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying,
Nick was saying something, yeah.
Okay.
I was saying, especially if it's true.
Exactly, right, exactly,
if it's
yeah.
true,
Exactly.
for sure, you should be able to move around, that situation as you feel comfortable, emotionally comfortable.
Yeah.
I feel like the law is emotionally irresponsible.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part. I mean, it's are you in an emotional place to be able to kind of voice it and handle whatever may come from you voicing it, because that's a lot of times people get scared saying something, and then whatever you call it, backlash, repercussions, or whatever it is that they may experience after the fact may lead some people to not want to even report it ever. So I don't think we should put a time limit on it. You know, at least whether the law takes it up, that's one thing. But people should be able to voice it whenever they feel like voicing that.
Mhm.
Agree. Um, Razor, what's your thoughts on this, bro?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm kind of torn with it too, because you know that's something that's unforgivable. Once you commit that type of act, that's something that's unforgivable. That's something that I feel you should be punished for, and punished very, very justly for. But on the other side, I'm looking at it like 30, 40 years. You know, uh, do I think you should wait that long to come out? I, I feel not, because me personally, I want to see this person punished as soon as possible. If that's something he did. So and then it kind of bring up question marks when it's like 30, 40 years later. Because for me personally, I want to see this person punished. You know, the next day. But like you said, for everybody it's different. Some people might could come out before others, and I can't say when is a just time for that person to come out. That's not up to me. But I would like to see this person punished as soon as possible, and not 30 years down the line. I think it kind of give question marks when
Mhm.
something like, especially when let's say this person is running for office, or this person is going for something in a high position, or something like that. um you
Now,
know
I think
it,
now, Razor, I agree with you. I think they shouldn't do it though. I think if they did something like that and it was true and they know they did that, they themselves should not be running for any office.
I
They
even
they
get
they they
But
should
that
stay out of
speaks
that.
into
I got a
integrity.
pretty
Like,
Yeah.
what type
nice
of integrity
situation.
do you have to yourself?
Exactly, yeah. And if again, if they did that, they may not have enough morals anyway to take themselves out of running, right? Because they may be arrogant and
But
believe
yeah,
they
I
deserve it.
got away with it.
Yeah,
but,
pretty much.
but there is a suppose that's how the person gets to build up their
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 confidence.
morality.
power
Yeah, the
to be
confidence
untouchable.
power to go out and say that
Yeah,
this person did that to me after they start running for
yeah,
office, or they're in a space of power.
yeah.
That may be how that person gets the ability to be like, I'm gonna speak up now. I'm gonna say something about
Yeah.
this.
Well,
Because
yeah, that might prompt them
by
to speak up
yeah.
to say this person shouldn't be in power. That could be a powerful motivator. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that could be a powerful motivator.
definitely for sure.
Yeah,
So with me is I don't necessarily think that there should be a I don't think there should be a statute of limitation on it. I think that you should be able to come out at any point in time. I think, and mostly almost any crime to me, especially this. I know we talked about this a couple of times already. I think that this crime you should go. I think you should receive a life in jail, or maybe even the death penalty, because you took something from someone
that wasn't yours to
can,
take in the first place.
yeah,
Straight up.
nobody can give that solace of
Yeah,
peace, uh, that mental anguish. Nobody can stop that from happening. I mean,
Mhm.
over a
that's
course of time, it might get a little bit better for them, but after
Right.
you
You
violate
decide to
somebody so
do so.
vile, I mean, I don't see how that's possible for someone to get over that.
I mean,
I don't think it
I
should
don't.
be
I don't think they ever get over it. I mean,
no.
even in new relationships, I think they struggle with that. I
Yep.
mean, for people to get
Absolutely.
close to them, to be intimate, to be vulnerable, I think it's just
Absolutely.
rough for them for a long time. Even with therapy, it's still rough for people.
Mhm.
So it's just that's
It's
a
not
life that's a lifetime trauma.
Most of the time, therapy don't really,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
a
how to
cope. It's a way to
cope with it.
cope. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
way to cope
it's
with it,
cope.
right?
Yeah.
So
just learn how
it's
to
done.
move
Yeah,
through it.
genie out of the bottle can't go back. You did it to them, right? You
Yeah.
did that to them. You did something horrible to them, and now they have to figure out a way to live with it. They want to raise kids. They want to have a husband or a wife or whatever the case may be, but they still have that kind of hanging over them, and things around them. And while they're moving through life, it's going to remind them of that situation, right?
Mhm.
And so
Yep.
it's horrible, man. It's just horrible. It's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
Anything could be a
yeah,
trigger.
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
I sat back and I thought about this. Since I came up with this topic, I had this topic since last week, but I wanted more people to be on the panel to talk about it. It was me, Sheree, and Razor. Sheree's not here. She had some unforeseeable issues going on, so she's not here tonight. But I wanted all of us to be here to talk about this when it's more, it's like more uh it brings more of a conversation when it's more people talking about it.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, you want to have a diverse, viewpoints, because we
Yeah,
obviously we all think a little different. We all have something to bring to
yeah.
the conversation, make it more,
I think
yeah,
that for me, sitting and thinking about it is the hardest part. But for me, a person that went through that situation, is to realize that they can never overcome that situation. It's not something they can get back. And I feel like literally, if they choose 100 years to say that this person did it, they should be able to say that, and that person should still be able to be punished under the law. Uh, Telling a person that if you don't report a crime in 5 years or 10 years, then it's null and void is
yeah.
nonsense to me.
Yeah, it's not like it's like a petty thief thing, where you took a
Not like
candy bar or something, 10 years ago. That's not that. It's not that at all. This is something that's life changing, right?
you know
So,
what's funny?
mm,
You steal Uncle Sam money, you don't care how long you took it.
Mhm.
yeah,
Giving it
You
back
want that?
He
sometimes.
want
exactly.
he
Black.
want
But you could take a woman's peace in her time, disrupt her whole life, and probably mess up her offspring's life too, with how she's gonna react to certain situation. So you're gonna put a whole family in turmoil, and they be like, 5 years, don't worry about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I think,
A whole
yeah,
generation to that
yeah.
fact,
yeah,
a whole entire generation, because that's going to affect everybody behind it. You know, how her children
Depending on how
develop,
she deal
how
with
she
it.
raised it.
and so
Yeah.
on and so
Yep.
forth.
Exactly. Depending on how she deal with a situation, which she shouldn't have to, but depending on how courageous she can be during that whole situation. I mean, I think